the rabbi. Oh man. Oh man. You spend time in it. Oh man. Do you ever feel like your life is out of balance, out of order? Like you just can't seem to get enough done? You ever find yourself being overbooked for the very same time? Yep. If you're like most people, you've experienced being overbooked for the very same time. Let me give you some Bible direction this morning and then some advice. It's coming from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to tear down, and a time to build, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, a time for gathering stones, a time to embrace, and a time from refrain from embracing. Those are just the first 5. You should probably read the whole chapter. It's really good. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Now, right now, what is the right time? What is the right thing I should be doing right now? I should be showing my coffee cup, my Captain America coffee cup, and as time would permit, my sherry coffee. Copper Moon coffee. This is Blast Off. That's actually what the coffee's called. And now, fresh from the bakery, my J. Lee Bob the Builder cookies I hold in my hand. I now immerse. Speaking of immersion, have you been baptized? That's another topic for another day. Thank you. But this whole topic today really is about controlling your time. If you've ever been double booked, overworked, feel like everybody's pulling at you, tearing at you, it's probably because you're not managing your time. There are 2 great currencies in the world today. One currency is called cash. The other is called time. And both must be budgeted, but only one of them can be saved. You can't save time, really. You can be smarter than working harder, but it's not like money you can put in the bank. So let me show you. This is my little book that I keep track of things in. If you're like me and you're getting older, you don't want to depend on your memory all the time. You want to go ahead and get yourself a little book, a little pad, or something just to make notes in. Now, why am I telling you this? Because often we find ourselves in a situation where we are not doing the things we most want to do. And generally at the top of that list is prayer and Bible study and what I like to call the MT, my time. Those things are often the things that are sacrificed because of the little events that we overbooked ourselves with. Let me point out to you the best thing we can do, literally, is to stop and prioritize ourselves. I need to be walking more, exercise. But if I don't take my time and take care of myself, I'm going to cut my time short in this world. Get it? Time. And there's a time for everything under heaven, according to Ecclesiastes. So I'm going to suggest, number 1, you begin to prioritize what's important to you, what isn't important to you. And it's okay. Now try this. It's okay to say, no, I can't do that at this time. Now, how about, no, I'm reorganizing my life. This has to go. Or how about, yes, I am going to take some time for me and the Lord. Think about it for a moment. If we don't have an organized life, we don't control our lives. Everything, everybody around us controls it. And so let me point out to you, this is a wristwatch. I own the wristwatch. The wristwatch does not own me. Time is what I own. Time does not own me. God's given me only so many days on this earth. I want to accomplish as much as I can. I really do. But I don't want to waste time on things which are trivial, which I get no pleasure from, which God gets no pleasure from. So I want to start prioritizing myself. So start today. If you would, think about it. If you're one of those people like myself, just too stinking busy, okay? And sit down and with your little book in hand, write out your weekly schedule. I know it might take you 20 minutes, but have a cookie and a cup of coffee. I do. In fact, I share that with you. And today I am cheating a little bit. I got a fresh batch of J. Lee cookies, and I got a second one right here, but I'm going to hold on to it for a moment until the right time. Right time is another thing. If church begins at 10 o'clock or a synagogue begins at 10 o'clock, it does mean it begins at 10:20 or 10:30. In order for you to be in place where you most want to be, hopefully, you may have to adjust your timetable. So how do I adjust my timetable? I start with the clock that's by my bed. And I set it for a time which I can get up comfortably, get dressed, have my morning coffee, okay? I'll talk to Roxanne for a moment, and then Casey comes over and we ride down to shul for morning prayers. So I've got my morning pretty much structured all the way up to 8 o'clock. Then I come home, fix a little breakfast, and prepare for this program. That is my routine. And guess what? That routine works. I don't panic so much between 5 in the morning and 8 to 8:15 in the morning. But my life, like yours, like I said, is busy. There are always demands and always important things that have to be done. But if you're not flexible with your time because you overbooked yourself, okay, you can't fulfill those unique spiritual obligations that come to us. To bless a family member, to pray with a friend, to visit the sick. We have to be flexible. And yet, if I've overbooked myself, overcommitted myself, I can't be flexible. And neither can you. So once again, let me suggest you need to create a time budget. Okay? My young Padawan, my apprentice, Casey, good guy. I like him. The first thing I had to get him to do, and it was like pulling teeth at first, was sit down and create a time budget. This is when I study. This is when I pray. This is my time. This is when I get to do this and that and that and this. Okay, and it works. Because number one, you wake up knowing what you're going to do. And at the same time, you left yourself room in the day for being able to make adjustments as you go along. A time budget should not be completely rigid, but it should be strong enough that it gives you the guidance you need. And when you find yourself starting to violate your time budget, okay, that's when you're going to get overwhelmed. And once again, the moment we're overwhelmed, it's prayer, Bible study, okay, reading the scriptures, those are things that always get sacrificed. Don't sacrifice the important, eternal for the temporary. Okay? There are times, people do that. Oh, mom, I need my dress ironed right now. It's my favorite dress. And this is purple day at school. Well, come on, mom. The child's crisis shouldn't be your crisis. Okay? Especially if it's based on poor planning. But I am talking about some me time. And that's probably my biggest deal today because, at least in my case, me time is my personal time with the Lord. It's not structured. My personal time with the Lord is when I go for my walk in the day and I talk to him and he listens and then I listen and we go back and forth and I have my fellowship, not my prayer time. You know prayer time normally is. It's Lord, I got a list right here of things I need you to do this week. You know, by the way, we don't give God a honey-do list. That's right. No honey-do list for the Messiah. So when I say me time, remember I'm really talking about my personal, non-structured time with God. And I think that's essential. If you've ever seen Fiddler on the Roof, and everybody has at least a dozen times, Reptavia is constantly talking to God. Constantly. I'm sure he does his morning prayers and his evening prayers and such. But he's constantly in that loop when he has his me time. Okay? So today, here's my big lesson for you. There's a time for everything, but prioritize the everything. This way, the most important things get done first. Absolutely first. Okay? So, today, not a big theological jump for you, but a little practical advice that for everything under the heavens, there's a time and a season. But don't confuse what it is. Don't go plant your corn in the middle of December. Okay? Not a good idea. Everything according to its time. So with that said, please hit that like button and the share button and the follow button or subscribe button, whichever one you've got in front of you. And join us in our ministry here. Become a partner with us, especially with that share button. We want to grow the ministry of the gospel, not grow the ministry of Rabbi Michael, not to grow the ministry of Shema Shuriel, but the ministry of the gospel. Kingdom first, always kingdom first. Say it with me. Kingdom first. And I can give the kingdom the best when I set the time aside to give the kingdom first. With that said and done, I mean, it'll bless you, keep you, cause his face shine upon you, be gracious unto you, and lift up his countenance to you, may give you peace. We could use the